Hello, everybody. Hello, GDQ. Hello, everybody watching on Twitch, watching here live at TwitchCon. Welcome to Lies of P, most bosses in 1 hour. This is kind of like a made-up category. It started out as like a bounty, and I just kind of like took it and I rerouted it a little bit and made it work for a marathon. So I'm really excited to show it off. I'm blanxz, and I speedrun Lies of P, Elden Ring, many Souls games. I'm joined here by my commentator, Mitchriz. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Mitchriz. I also speedrun Lies of P, Elden Ring, Sekiro, various other things. And yeah, I'm excited for seeing this category again. It's been a little while since there was the bounty on it, and blanxz has done some awesome new routing on it, so I can't wait for him to show me some of the new things as well as all of you at home. So,
all right, so I am ready to start when you guys are. I will give you guys a countdown. All right, we'll start it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so getting into the run, we're going to start in a train car, and we're going to be walking at a very slow pace here at the start. We're just going to be walking forward. We're going to be using the Legion Arm mechanic to launch our character forward a little bit. It's going to save around 1 second, and we can use this time to, I guess, talk about the run, kind of talk about the routing changes it's gone through. The highest possible bosses that was possible during the bounty was 18. I got a run with 18, and so did Mitch, I believe. But I have rerouted it, and the other day I actually got the 19th boss down. So I'm really excited with this new routing. There is the possibility of seeing a world record. It's very unlikely, but we may see one. But yeah, Mitch, anything you want to add to the this kind of the story of Lies of P speedrunning as a whole?
you know, as a whole, it's been a very interesting journey because, like, since it came out after all the Souls games, it basically was speedran and routed from literally day one. And we had such this cool, like, bounty in it as well that's just gone through so many changes. And especially this run in particular, showing off as many bosses as possible, we get to go skips that were never really viable in kind of a main speedrun get their chance to shine here when you get to do these extra bosses. So you're skipping stuff, but you still have to come back for the boss, and it's like, how do you route that all out? It's just such a cool, interesting route that, yeah, has gone through so many changes, and especially blanxz has continued to work on it even after. So awesome category to see, but so yeah, what are we up to at the start here, blanxz? What are we getting? Where are we going to?
Yeah, so we picked our starting class. We picked the sweeper, the strength preset. That is because our weapon that we're using is, excuse me, not strength, motivity. We're using motivity. We're going to be using a very, very strong.
Strength. It's basically strength.
It's basically strength. Yeah. So our goal here is we're just going to get as powerful as possible. Then we're going to start cleaning up bosses. That's kind of our goal here. We only have an hour, so we don't really have a lot of time. So coming up here is the first little mini boss. It's like this police bot or whatever. We're going to be starting out with one Legion punch. We're going to be deflecting a couple of attacks, and then I'll be using another punch to knock him over, and this charged R2 will stagger him. Then we take the fatal attack, and that will most likely finish him off. Okay, cool. There's a little bit of variance there due to the random damage in this game. Damage is actually ruled. It's like plus or minus 10%, so there is a small possibility he doesn't die there, but yeah, we got the kill there. We're going to be grabbing this Fable Catalyst and using it right away. Our goal here is we're just going to be running along the first area. We're trying to make our way to Hotel Krot. So, Bobby, if you have any donations, you have a little bit of time to read some.
Absolutely. We have so many donations coming through, including $25 from Jazzy with no comment. Thank you so, so much. As well as a $50 anonymous donation. Really appreciate it. And again, we are raising money for able gamers today. Get those donations in. Thank you so much. Yeah,
so we are basically, we're not very strong right now. And there's not really any glitches in this game that can, like you can dupe souls in Dark Souls, for example, or whatever. So we don't really have any of that. So the way that we gain power in this game is actually by sequence breaking and doing skips to get to later areas quicker. And we'll be using that time to grab upgrade materials. And we're going to be getting a pretty strong weapon about halfway through the run. And then we'll be spending the rest of our time just cleaning up the bosses. So I'm really excited to see this run come into fruition. I've been working on it for about 3 weeks now. I've been gunning for that 19th boss, and I'm glad that I finally got it. Now I know that it's possible. It's very unlikely to happen today, but I would love to try. I want to get at least like 18 or 19, but we'll see. That's kind of a high estimate.
Even 18 is a really high estimate. Do not put your expectations on that. We barely got 18 during the bounty when we were working on it for a few weeks to get one run that barely got 18. I think both of us only got 1 or 2 runs that got 18 bosses, but you know, blanxz is very fast, so we might get there. But here he's coming in on the first major boss of the run, the Puppet Master, where if everything goes right, it can be basically scripted and we can skip the second phase, where he uses a buff here at the start that does electricity damage. The boss is weak to electricity. And then he's going to try to set up the stagger at just the right moment, right as the boss is about to go into that 50% phase transition. Okay, so he's doing a few more attacks. He's counting out all these attacks he's doing as well as his deflects. He needs to get the right amount of both. Got the stagger now. Okay, he's going to take the big fatal attack and then do a few more big attacks here, including the punch.
Might be a little bit short on the damage.
Yeah, a little low roll, but one more attack finishes it. Let's go.
Yeah, so Parade Master is like pretty much scripted, and you guys actually saw the rolled damage numbers into fruition right there. Basically, you can be a little bit short or do a little bit too much. It's a little bit annoying, but scripts are accounting for that, so you're never gonna like miss a script or whatever. It's always gonna work, and right there you guys saw, oh, it's just one extra attack. So here we are doing the captcha tech. Are we a human? Yes, we are a human. We passed. Very nice. That is the first lie in the game. This game runs on lines. Every lie that you do unlocks a mechanic later in the game. It's called humanity. It basically just like gets you towards a certain ending. But yeah, you have to lie at that hotel door. If you say puppet, it just locks you out, and you have to just say human. So the all-truth run is not real. You can't do an all-truth run in this game.
We've looked for skips to try to skip that door just so we can do an all-truth run, and we have not found one yet.
Yeah. So we are in the hotel now for the first time. We're doing our first little visit here. We're going to be getting our moon phase pocket watch, and we're also going to be doing a little bit of leveling here. Going to go to 15 motivity, and that's just so that I'm a little bit stronger. I'm going to grab a weapon that doesn't really scale off motivity, but the weapon that I grab after that is going to be our big hitter. So we're going to be doing a full motivity run. The only stats we level in this run are health and motivity. So yeah, as we head to Elysian Boulevard, Bobby, would you like to give us a couple of donations?
Of course, blanxz. Thank you so much. Well, we have a $50 donation from Amanda that says, here's my entry for the Beneath the Mask tapestry. And that is so true. You should go to gamesdonequick.com and check out so many of these prizes that are up for bidding today. So make sure you get those donations in. Check out those prizes to make sure you can try to get one of them. Back to you, blanxz.
Sure. Yeah, so we are on Elysian Boulevard. This is chapter 2 of the game, of the main story. We're not going to be skipping that many chapters. Like in the 90% run that you guys saw at HGDQ this year, we were doing a lot of skipping and we're doing a lot of sequence breaks for a lot of the areas. We're going to be more or less going through the areas the quote-unquote intended way. There's going to be some funky glitches and some silly stuff, but we're going to, for the most part, do every area in order. Elysian Boulevard only has 2 bosses, so we're going to be doing those 2 in order. And it actually, like, one thing that I discovered when I was rerouting is that, like I said, we're going to be, like, sequence breaking for, like, a strong weapon later. But because this run is in real time, it's actually slower to come back later with, like, a super leveled up weapon than it would be to just continue. So that's what we're going to be doing in this run. We're going to be just clearing out Elysian. And you're going to see that's kind of the flow of the run. We're going to be getting to an area and then clearing it out as quickly as possible, and then moving on to the next area. It's a really, really fast-paced and exciting run, so I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. But yeah, a lot of stuff in this run Mitch has not really seen before because he hasn't really ran it in a long time. So I'm actually really excited to even like shock like Mitch, one of the great minds of speedrunning.
I'm very excited to see it, but one thing that I do recognize is that he picked up the Stargazer here as well as the shortcut back, which is not for safety. You would think, oh, it's a marathon run, we'll grab the shortcuts just in case we die. No, we are actually going to come back later here to do a skip. So he said we're not skipping this area, but later we are going to do a skip to get to a later boss quicker. So we'll get to there when we get there. We haven't done any of the like really cool skips yet, but we are going to come up on some awesome tech, but only after we have completed the next couple of bosses.
Yeah. So I'm coming up on the second merchant in the game here. Merchants are kind of like, in the speedrun, you want to kind of grab what you need from them, then go. It's very slow to grab the checkpoint, then come back later. We're going to be grabbing the electric coil stick, 2 pulse cells, and 4 electric abrasives. That is enough consumables for the run. The skip that I'm about to do here is a little bit of a delayed plank jump here. I'm going to line up with keyboard and mouse, and it looks like I got it. Very nice. So I'm going to be using one of my throwables on this police bot, and then I'm going to be taking out this dog, buffing my weapon, and we're going to be getting half of the pieces of Exodia for this run, okay? We need the wrench baton, which is considered to be one of the best weapons in the game.
Yeah, certainly on, this is run on a slightly older patch. This might be the most powerful weapon on this patch. Newer patches have had some balance changes, new weapons introduced, but nice. Very good kill. You can see he used the coil there, which does electricity damage, which that police bot is weak to. And especially if you get the electric effect on them, you can stagger enemies more quickly. So he was able to get a super quick stagger on that police bot and take him out.
So we're coming up on the Mad Donkey boss fight here. And the Mad Donkey is fought with backstabs for the most part. I'm going to get a little bit of a cheeky backstab here. Hopefully I'm going to run behind him and do that buff like Mitch mentioned. Proc the electricity, and then get a cheeky little backstab there. The point here is to do charge attacks until you get the opening to backstab again. He has a little bit of a cooldown. It's around 5 seconds where you can't backstab him at all, so we're going to be just hitting it with normal attacks, then baiting another backstab, like that. Nice. And then the idea here is to take him out in 2 or 3. Quickest way to kill him is obviously by doing backstabs, but because of that cooldown, we have to account for that. As you can see right there, I didn't even get it. There we go.
There we go. Nice kill. Excellent.
Very cool. Okay, so we are encountering Geppetto for the first time. He is our father. He created us, and we don't really know why yet, but yeah, that's our father. We are going to be continuing along Elysian Boulevard, like I was mentioning before. So we don't really want to grab this Stargazer. Like, you could actually grab this Stargazer, make a weapon that we're going to do like a bunch of skips with, and then come back later. But it ends up being slower because you have to warp back, warp to the area that you want to go to, run all the way here, run all the way to the boss, and then kill the boss. And it ends up like not even being faster at all. So we're just going to be doing it with the police baton at 15 motivity. I learned was a sweet spot. I will let Mitch help us out with the commentary for this boss. I will also be using the summoning pool for the first time. We're going to be grabbing a Spectre, which is the summoning system, who's going to come help us. He does pretty much more damage than we do at this point in the game. We're very, very weak right now. So we're going to be summoning that Spectre to help us out. And I will let Mitch help us with the commentary on this fight.
Yeah, so because he summoned the Spectre, the boss is going to be very, very unpredictable. So blanxz is going to have to be prepared for the boss to attack him or to attack the Spectre. We want him to attack generally the Spectre because we can get big hits in, but if he attacks us and leaves the Spectre alone, that's okay as well because the Spectre also does good damage. So as we run in, we're going to try to use as many of the like big charged attacks as we can. They refill our Fable very quickly so we can get more powerful strikes in. Preferably, we'd like to have him not hit both of us. Okay, we're a little separated, that's good. And this is a great attack to see because we can get some big attacks in the meantime. Okay, he swapped over to the Spectre. Now we get to do a lot more attacks from the back. Take the Fatal attack here. Nice, do even a little more damage before taking the Fatal. Okay, now he's going to transition into the second phase where he's going to do electricity on his attacks. Excellent dodge. Okay,
no
we're
grab.
hoping to
Very
not
good.
do the grab, which is good.
There we go.
Here's the grab.
You want to have the boss facing you for the grab.
Yes, you do not want him to grab the Spectre or he will go immune for quite a long time. Okay, kind of a bad combo, but he's on the Spectre now, so we can hit him from behind. We should be safe to stagger him here and finish him off. Let's go. There it is.
So that was Scrap the Watchman. Even though that fight looked really slow, it's actually faster to do that right now than it is to come back later with the amped up weapon. I was surprised too to learn like actually how much faster it is to not do it in that order. So here we're going to be creating the Rapier Greatsword, which is infamous for being the zipping instrument for runs like these. I got to backstab these guys. I was trying to distract them. But we're doing a skip. If you're wondering why I'm holding this random weapon combination, basically the way this game works is you can have various weapons, various blades, various handles, and combine them together for some very silly options. And this one, in particular, this one is extra silly because we can moon jump with it, as you guys are going to see right here.
Let's see if he can get it. It's a very precise lineup that he has to look at here. But if he gets it right, magic will happen. There it is.
I'm a little bit short. Okay, nice.
He made it.
Okay, cool.
Good save, good save.
Yeah, so that was the pogo, the vertical momentum. This is the horizontal version. This is called a zip. And you can go quite far with these, as you can see. We're just zipping through the next area out of bounds. Hopefully this one works. Okay, we're good, we're good.
He's got to be careful here still. We're still out of bounds, and if he falls, he has to do the whole thing again.
So there is one last part to the skip. It's a vertical skip. I have to be very careful not to fall down here. If I fall down, I have to quit out and restart the entire thing over again. So I'm going to try my best to not do that. I rolled. Okay, that's my bad. All right, so that's not a big deal. We're just going to have to quit out and redo the skip. It's fine. Did not mean to roll there.
Yeah. So basically the way that both of these sort of movement tech work is that the greatsword handle does this very, very fast thrust forward, and the rapier blade makes your weapon even faster. Let's see if he's got it this time. A little short. This is the really, really tough jump. He's got to get a super high jump. He's got to run immediately and get a jump at the perfect timing. But basically, he's going to take that forward momentum of the greatsword and transform it into upwards momentum using a slope. There we go. Nice, nice. Okay, so now we have to do all the zips. So this one, we're going to keep our sideways momentum by performing a block in the middle of the forward attack. If you set your FPS to 30, this actually happens automatically if you hold the block button while doing the attack. At other FPSs, you have to time it manually, but at 30, you can just hold the block button and it happens. So it's a very, very cool little movement tech here that we're going to be using all throughout the game. This is how we do, I think, every single skip or almost every skip.
Gonna not roll here off the edge.
Yep.
Hopefully. Gonna line myself up.
Yeah, very precise lineup here. He's using some of the on-screen elements, the health bar and fable bar in the top left. He's gonna line up with some bricks. Not quite high enough. And if you do it exactly in the right spot, you can get a really, really big boost upward. But if you're even just a little bit off, you won't quite have the height. So that's why he's lining up so precisely. Oh. Nope, not that one. It's okay if it takes a couple tries. It pretty much always does in these runs. That is how precise they are. So let's see if he can get it this time.
Oh, that's not together.
Yep.
Having a bit of trouble here, honestly.
That's okay. Looks good.
Very
yes.
Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, so basically what we're doing here is we're skipping past an invisible wall. And we're going to be actually skipping to the end of the factory. That's where the skip takes you. Originally in the bounty, we would actually run through the factory, and that was one of my big time saves that I had in mind. When I was running this bounty, I'm like, yeah, I mean, this little skip right here saves at least like 40 seconds. Obviously, I lost a lot of time there by missing the skip, but yeah, it's a very, very, very cool skip. There's lots of them like this in the run. And that one, like, it really wasn't relevant at all, like in any other category besides this one for a really long time. So I'm happy that the bounty birthed like some new skips. Very, very cool stuff.
Yeah, a bit of a flashing light warning here. Just the cutscene's going to force us to look directly at it, unfortunately.
All right, so Foco here, he is the second Ergo boss, I believe. It's the second unique boss. So we are going to summon a Spectre yet again. We're using the coil stick for this guy, and the goal here is to get a electricity proc on him and then spam charge attacks to get him to stagger. So we'll see if we can get this.
Yeah, this boss has some very weird timings on his attacks, so you just have to be ready for them. He has been changed in some patches, but we're on an old patch where his moves can really catch you off guard, so blanxz has got to be really careful. Even from behind, some of his attacks can hit, but he's doing good so far. Almost has the stagger. 1 or 2 more hits should get it. There it is. Okay, he's going to take as much damage as he can before the fatal attack. He's got a full Fable bar here that he can spend. Oh. Is he going to try to kill him? So here he does a phase transition attack. He's taking reduced damage until he starts breathing fire. I think he's low enough. He's going for it. Let's go. Excellent kill.
Yeah, so Foco there, he's a little bit tricky. I would say the skip is honestly like more nerve-wracking than the boss itself.
Yes.
That's kind of how it is for the most part for this run. And that skip right there is actually like the one that I was like really, really worried about. So I'm glad that we were able to get through that, because that was really making me nervous there when I couldn't hit it. So yeah, we're moving on to grab our second piece of Exodia, the wrench. And while we do that, Bobby, you can take us away for 2 or 3 donations.
Absolutely. We have a couple $25 donations coming in. One from Cats for Bats. Thank you so much for that $25 donation. As well as $25 from Sailor J. Jade. Thank you both so much. And with that, we have a brand new incentive that just got opened as well for the upcoming GDQ Game Show Extravaganza immediately after this Lies of P run. So it'll be a mystery bonus impossible minigame that if met about 30 minutes into the run, the runners will have to attempt. So we want to see that. $1,000 gets that incentive met. So let's get going.
All right, so we are grabbing the wrench here, which is the most powerful weapon on this patch that exists. We're going to be taking out these enemies. The devs for this game really didn't want us just running past and grabbing the chest because they put 3 really dangerous enemies in front of it. Also, you get no iframes on opening chests in this game, which is like really, really insane. So we're going to be taking out the enemies there, taking our time. And we're going to be running past this robot here. We need to bait him this way before we can actually grab the Stargazer. He's a little bit close, but that's fine. We're trying to avoid a situation where he turns off the Stargazer by being too close. Looks like we're going to get it. We're going to just barely get it.
Nice.
But I will need to deflect an attack, I think, here.
Oh, didn't have time to deflect it. That is okay.
You can. There is a very, very tight window, and you can deflect that, but looks really flashy. But
yeah,
we're.
I think you were stuck on the Stargazer just a little too long.
Yeah,
that's okay.
So here we are heading down to this little valley of like TNT barrels. We're gonna be blowing them up with our puppet string here. Basically what that does is, this guy doesn't want to cooperate with us, it's fine.
That's okay.
Basically what that does, the puppet string on the barrels, it just explodes them, which I actually learned on hitless runs. So very, very useful tech there that applies to speedruns as well. And we're returning back to the last Stargazer that we just lit because we do need to do a very, very cool sequence break that you guys are about to see. It's gonna blow some minds, I think. That we're talking about the Elysian zip. For those of you that have been following the speedrun, you know what that is. We're going to be doing a very, very big skip in a minute here. I'm going to be making the wrench baton, literally Exodia. Then we're heading over to Elysian Boulevard. So yeah, Bobby, you can give us like 1 or 2 donations while we set up the next skip.
Absolutely. Well, I have $10 from Elia's Art that says, "Let's go, blanxz, mega zip for life."
Perfect timing.
I know, with all these zips, we have to, right? Time for one more?
I'm going to be setting up the skip now.
Sounds good.
So this skip, we're going to be basically going from chapter 2 to all the way to chapter 5. And that's all actually loaded in the same map fragment. So I was very, very shocked at that too when we were learning the speedrun for this game. How it's going to work is I'm going to set up my feet and my Fable bar at a certain part of the screen. I'm looking for a little dot on the ground, and I'm also looking for a little... yeah, then we're going to go.
He's found it. Wow, what a quick setup.
Wow, that was a very, very far zip. I think I went too far. Okay, no.
Slightly too far. That's okay, that's okay. You're...
I think there was an invis barrier
I think you
there.
actually, yeah, you got past the barrier. That never happens.
That's never happened. Okay, we're just going to do that again.
Had to have one. Had to have an it's never happened before.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, when you quit out in this game, when you're out of bounds, you get put back to your last stable position inbound. So we're actually going to be able to just do the same setup again, and it's just going to work. Hopefully, actually, I just cursed myself, but we'll see. Yes, I cursed myself. Yep.
Yeah,
I have to climb up the ladder again. Okay. So the way the skip is supposed to work, we're going to fly over the building like that, and then we land on a piece of ground, and then we can go into a boss arena. That's kind of the goal here. We're going to try that again.
Yeah, and this here is a mega zip, where it's basically we do the zip where we keep our momentum forward, but at the same time, we use this tiny little sort of upward slope to boost us upward, so we get up and forward momentum, and there he goes. He does it just easily.
Yeah, so now we have a little bit of out-of-bounds pathing here. We need to roll onto this ledge right here. This is actually the building where after you kill the boss, you end up in that building. We're going to be going back into the arena, though, and as you'll see, this boss is just completely invisible, and we cannot see it. But I can see it, because I have Ultra Instinct, so I will be able to see exactly where this boss is. There he is. We're going to do a big wrench slam here. The way this weapon works is there's like tiers of charging on that Fable attack right there. And as you saw, we got to the very, very max that we let it go. So if you actually let it go at the right time, it won't consume your last Fable. So we're going to be using that a lot on this run. And we're just going to be fighting a boss while he's invisible / not moving. So Bobby, you can give us some donations while we fight this boss.
Absolutely. Well, we have $25 from Kaylee Strawberry that says, "Can I get a yippee for this run? I don't know, room chat, can we get a yippee?"
Thank you, Keely. Yeah, so that boss is dead now. And actually, if we try to turn around, we actually can't because the gate is closed. The gate is barred off until you open it for the first time, like the intended way. And that's actually kind of a problem for routing because you can't go to the merchant. There's a merchant there that sells you like very, very overpowered throwables. So we're just going to skip that. We don't really need that mechanic in this run. We're going to be grabbing the quartz here. That we're heading back to the hotel. We're going to be using quartz for the first time, actually, on a GDQ run. So if you guys don't know what quartz is, it's like a alternate character augmenting system. We're going to get a couple of extra upgrades to our character that we normally wouldn't. We're going to get an extra Fable bar. We're going to get charge stagger damage, or charge stagger, and we're going to get Fable attack damage. So very, very powerful hotel trip here. We're going to be doing it in this order because there is a skip called Rose to Isabel skip. I'm not doing that skip today because that one's way too dangerous to do on a live event like this. So yeah, anyway, we are going to grab the extra Fable bar, consumable limit, and Fable attack. So we're going to talk to him again. He's going to give us the objective to go to Rose to Isabel. And the reason why I routed it this way is that on the same trip that you're doing the quartzing, you can also talk to him again, and that will allow you to unlock this dialogue from Antonia, and you'll get the key to Rose Isabel. So this is the alternative to doing the skip, which in my opinion is not only safer, but also like I was timing it, and it's actually kind of faster to do it like this in this run, because we're doing that rabbit boss as like one of the 18 or 19 bosses that we're going to kill in this run. Can I get a quick little check on the timer, by the way?
Looks like we've got 34.5 minutes left.
Okay, cool. We're about where I thought I would be right now with that mistake in the factory. So we're heading to Rosa Isabel Street. Mitch, would you like to yap with me for a bit?
Ooh, I love yapping.
All right, very nice. Okay, so Gemini here does a little bit of a monologue about Rosa Isabel Street. There is a famous dancer that he's obsessed with, and so we're going to try to synchronize our dialogue skills with Gemini's voice. Please pardon us.
Rosa Isabel Street, the entertainment district. You might call it extravagant. Operas, operettas, street concerts, all running 24/7. Adelina Corday, the singer in the red dress. Oh, she was the most famous of them all, the legendary prima donna.
I don't know this part.
Yeah, we usually get to the interesting part at this point, so we don't remember the rest of it, but yeah, hope you guys liked it.
Hope you guys enjoyed our yapping. Okay, so here we're going to be doing another zip out of bounds. This one's actually a really big skip. So we're skipping from chapter 6 all the way to the end of chapter 7. This skips 3 required bosses, I believe. We're gonna come back later. But this skips 3 required bosses. It skips the White Lady boss. It skips Romeo, and it skips, actually not another boss, but it skips the arcade. So it skips like a very, very big part of the game. We're gonna be running out of bounds here on this super fleshed out, like out of bounds territory, which like us runners to this day, I have no idea how the devs were able to like get all of this loaded in at the same time while also making the game run perfectly at 120 FPS. It's actually kind of insane.
It runs so well, and it just has everything loaded at all times. No optimization needed. It just runs well. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So Bobby, we have a couple of donations that we can be read. We have about like 30, 40 seconds here.
Alrighty, sounds good. Well, we have a $5 donation from MPG that simply says, "Hi, Mom. And I would love if we could get a $5 donation train going ahead of that impossible minigame coming up for that 2v2 race. And as a reminder, chat, both at home and in the room, if you're looking to join in on that $5 donation train, all you have to do is when you go to that donation page at games.quick.com/donate, you will just have to scroll down to the bottom of that page and hit the incentive and add that impossible minigame to make sure we get that going before the start of the next run. So let's get it going.
Very nice. All right, so we are approaching the end of the Grand Exhibition, which is the end of Chapter 7, like I said. Very, very cool little thing we're about to do. Right here, we're actually underneath the boss arena. We're underneath Champion Victor's arena. We're going to kind of scrape up against this wall a little bit, and then we're going to quit out. What that's going to do is it's going to put us outside of the arena, because that's how Stable Ground works in most Souls games, and this game included. Because when you're out of bounds in this game and you quit out, you get put back in bounds. But this time we're going outside the boss arena, which is actually like very, very good for what we're trying to accomplish here. I'm loading back into the game on 30 FPS because there's a little thing that we're going to do later with this boss that I find to be more consistent if you do it on 30, if you do the quit out on 30. So here we're grabbing a Krot box. These are going to give us access to buying hidden moonstones, which are the upgrade material to go to +3. We're also going to be grabbing the ladder because we need to get back here at some point in the game. And we also need to grab a couple upgrade materials. So that's the goal right now. And you could skip past Champion Victor. There is a Champion Victor skip, but he is part of the roster of the most bosses 1 hour route. So we are going to be coming back later, grabbing the Stargazer. And then we're going to be grabbing a couple upgrade materials, but I am kind of worried about this robot to my left right here. This robot can be very, very concerning, so I'm going to be walking a bit slower. Yeah, that should be good. Once he crosses this like black line, you're usually good. We're going to head back to the hotel here. We're going to do a big trip. So that's kind of the point. You want to like route these trips to the hotel where you're going to get super strong all in one go. We're going to be buying enough stones for +3. We're going to be buying some Fable catalysts, and we're also going to be leveling up our character. So it's going to be a really, really big upgrade trip.
Yeah, he's basically gathered like all of the upgrade materials for the run, all kind of in one fell swoop. He's only killed a couple bosses so far, but once he gets these upgrades, we're going to start just banging them out. We've skipped a lot of bosses that we will end up going back and killing, such as the entire Rosa Isabel Street section. But once we get powerful enough, those bosses should go down very quickly. Here he buys a motivity crank, which is going to increase his weapons scaling with strength, so that all those points we put into strength earlier are going to give us more effect, as well as getting a permanent grinder, which is basically a reusable buff on the weapon, so that he can do it for boss after boss after boss. So here he gets his weapon all the way up to +5, puts that motivity crank on, and we should be very powerful from here, and then just a few more levels, and then with the extra money, he's going to buy some Fable catalysts that let us use the powerful attacks of the wrench baton. The reason it's so powerful is because the handle has a buff that increases the damage of just your next one attack, and then the blade of it, the wrench, it's not really a blade, but you know, the wrench part has a Fable attack that you can charge up for a really big damage on one hit. So you pair those together, next hit does a bunch of extra damage. On the one big hit, it hits really, really hard. Would literally recommend you to try it out. Yeah, literally Exodia. It's a fun strategy. Maybe too powerful if you're playing casually and you don't want the game to be a little too easy, man. Maybe don't try it out, but it is a lot of fun if you have a boss that you're stuck on. Just hit him with that wrench and, you know, move on with your life.
Yeah, so here we're heading up to the Survivor boss. This is one of the Stalkers, one of the NPC fights. And you're going to see the damage of the wrench baton here. It's going to be really, really big damage.
Kill the puppets.
Now he's got to make sure to hit it just right, so he's going to start with a backstab so that he can set up his big hit on the enemy, and then buff, start charging. While you're charging, you can poise through enemies' attacks, and fight's over. There it is.
Fight's over. 10
Hope
seconds.
you enjoyed it.
Yeah. So these stalker bosses go down pretty quickly because of, you know, because of the fact that you can charge up Fable while they're doing their little buffing animations and whatnot. We're heading on to the other boss here, Puppet of the Future. This is another one of those side bosses that is optional, but definitely worth killing for a run like this because he's also going to get on pretty quickly. Going to use our baton buff.
Good attack
Sneak in there. Get that big hit off.
Nice.
More than half health.
And we've now got it debuffed with electricity, which is going to cause it to take more stagger. I'm not sure if we'll get a full stagger here because it does die pretty quickly. We can get it. Nice. Yep. Stagger, and that's enough time to finish it off. Let's go.
That is Puppet of the Future. So our next target is the Atoned. The Atoned is an NPC boss that's guarding the elevator that goes up to the cathedral. We're not going to the cathedral. The cathedral is a massive time loss because the elevator itself is like 1:20 to go up. So we're not going to the cathedral. It's a massive time loss. We are instead going to just take out the Atoned in Moonlight Town. We're going to have another very, very quick boss fight. It can go wrong, so I'm going to pray that it does not. But there is a possibility that we do have a mishap here with the Fable. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping for the best. That's kind of the thing with the wrench, right? It's like, it's a super powerful attack on one hit, but at the same time, it's a super powerful attack on one hit. So like, if you miss that one hit, that's it. Like you're stuck with a mediocre at best weapon. So that's kind of how this run is routed so that we can make use of the wrench as good as possible. while also not having to use too many of the light and heavy attack moveset. We're going to be heading up to the Atoned here, and actually, I put on the wrong weapon. There's an option to not fight her because we just killed the survivor. But we're not going to be doing that option. We're just going to be killing her, obviously.
Yep, make sure you don't accidentally select that option.
That would be very bad.
Are you?
Do nothing, and that's going to make her really, really mad.
She does not like it when you ignore her.
Gonna do another big swing.
Okay, big hit. Let's go. Just a few more hits should finish her off. Let's go.
It's just ridiculous. The damage is ridiculous.
It really is.
Goodbye, Atoned. Okay, so we're going to be doing a final trip here to the hotel to get some Fable, and then we're going to be done with Fable Catalyst. Because after we kill a certain boss, the merchant or the guy running the stand at the front of the hotel is going to go outside for a smoke break, so we don't really want to interrupt him while he's out. We're going to be... Actually, we don't need to upgrade here. My bad. We're just going to be going to the front desk, grabbing some Fable Catalysts, and then we're going to be on our way to Rosa Isabel Street. We're going to pick up 44, I believe, is how much we need. And that's it. We're just going to be heading out to Rosa Isabel. The next boss is going to be the White Lady Stalker boss as well. Lots of Stalkers in this run because they're just like generally the easiest to kill with the wrench, right? Like I feel like...
They generally have low health, so as long as you can get that one big slam on them, it usually only takes a couple of extra attacks to finish them off. They're also usually pretty well along the way where they're not too far to go. Like, for example, the boss in the cathedral, you have to go through an entire cathedral to get to one boss. It's not really that worth it. But the Stalker here in Rosa Isabel Street, even though we can skip her, she's just not that far from the Stargazer.
Yeah, so we are going to be pathing back through this area. If you remember last time we came through it, we just flew past the walls and then just kind of left and didn't really come back. This is the significance of this area. We're going to be heading down the intended path. There is a skip that you can do, but it's actually slower, real time, if you want to kill the White Lady boss as well. So we're going to be doing a buff here, but the goal is we're going to line up the Wrench Slam on a certain syllable of her dialogue. That is kind of the goal here.
Yeah, so he needs to hear it, so I'm going to shut up for this.
I dedicate this performance to my sister, Adelina.
It's like when she's finishing the word Adelina, you want to go for it. So yeah, the goal here is to get a second slam now, which is kind of concerning because she's just like twirling at me over and over again.
Yeah, if he can't get the second slam, he can always go for backstabs, but he got it. Let's go.
And she's dead. Yeah, so she kind of gave us some good RNG by just standing still, actually. That was very, very good.
Yeah, she like dodged into the thing that was blocking her way and just kind of went nowhere. That was nice.
Yeah. We're going to be grabbing a quick butterfly. This is going to give us a upgrade material, a crescent moonstone. We're actually going to be picking up these because you can pick up another box and you can, just buy the stones, but it's actually faster to grab them all. I did time them all. This one's like 12 seconds out of the way. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's debatable whether or not +7 is actually worth going for, but I figured more damage never really hurt, so we are going to be grabbing that. We're going to be switching our grindstone over to the electricity grindstone, and then we're going to be heading towards the next boss, which is actually the Mad Clown Puppet, who's guarding the Opera House. So while I run down this risky little avenue, Bobby, will you give us some donations?
Absolutely. Well, amazing timing, and I want to hear some noise from people in the room and in chat. We have a $200 donation from Rafa Zafa R. Thank you so much for that donation towards Able Gamers. And again, their mission statement is to create opportunities that enable play in order to foster inclusive communities, combat social isolation, and improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. Thank you so much for that donation.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're going to be grabbing another upgrade stone here. We're going to be grabbing a Crescent Moonstone. This is going to be our third. We need 4. This is our third one. You got to grab 4 extras to get that +7 upgrade. I think it's worth it from my testing. But yeah, there is an argument to be made that maybe you can like fit in like a... I mean, you can't fit in a 20th boss, but you can maybe optimize the run a little bit. But we're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to head on along here. The next boss, like I said, is the Mad Clown Puppet. For those of you that are here on your first playthrough, I advise you to run up the stairs and run past them and grab the Stargazer first, and don't do what I did and run up this staircase every single time with these throwable puppets and these like flamethrower puppets. It's a nightmare. So you definitely want to just run past them and grab the Stargazer. But that's not what I'm going to be doing, actually. I'm going to be kind of fighting him. Not legit, but I'm going to be doing a cool little strat that avoids having to... Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Low on
my
health, you
God.
might just have to run by.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
That was perfectly intended.
Yes, yes.
Planned on that happening. Definitely not scared. Gonna be doing my buff now.
Oh, please tell me you heal.
I don't need to
He's
heal.
not gonna heal. Uh-oh. Okay. Hopefully the strat goes well. Okay, big hit. Another couple should get a stagger
I don't
here.
know why he did
That's
that.
not a great attack to see. Okay. This might get the stagger. It does. Excellent. Bit more fatal attack. That should do it.
Yeah, I realized a little bit too late that I did the wrong sequence there because I was so worried about being low on HP there. But yeah, that's the Mad Clown Puppet. The way we did it before is grabbing the Stargazer and then warping back to the Stargazer to reset the area. But this is a faster way of doing it because you don't have to do the extra loading screen.
Yes.
We're making our way into the Opera House now, which is probably the scariest place for me. Not the area, but the boss in the area is very, very scary for me on these runs. So I really, really hope that this goes well. We're doing a skip here. This is the Opera House skip that actually only exists on this patch, this version of doing it. There's a way to do it on current patch, but the way that I'm doing it here only works on 1.02. They ended up fixing it in 1.03. The way that it works is we're doing a little bit of a delayed jump. We're gonna get just enough momentum to go over this railing, like that.
Beautiful.
And we're actually gonna go down. This is part of the new routing, is we're gonna go down and we're gonna be grabbing the Vanity box in this room because we're gonna be able to get a extra motivity crank for another weapon, another handle, I should say. I did the math, and this seems to be the fastest one, even though it is still kind of slow. This seems to be like one of the faster boxes to grab. So we're just gonna be killing these puppets that are in our way. This one's fine. This one's not gonna bother us. But yeah, we're gonna grab this box right here for a little bit of more goodies. Then we're gonna be heading up the stairs, grabbing the Crescent Moonstone. I figured if we're grabbing the Moonstone anyway, may as well go down and around. So yeah, we're gonna be running along the chandelier, and then we are going to start the boss fight. So I will let Mitch help me out here with the commentary.
Yeah, bit of a scary boss here. We're not going to use a summon because we really, really want to get these sort of scripted hits in. We don't want the boss going somewhere else. But he's going to start the fight by buffing and then intentionally taking a hit from the boss so that the boss will definitely stand still and take our big slam here. So he's going to do his buff. He's going to get his Fable up. And hopefully this should work here. Excellent first hit. He's going to do a one charge hit and then walk around him during this phase transition, which doesn't hit behind him. 2 more hits should phase transition him. Good. Into the kind of harder phase. Now he has to just kind of deal with the boss normally, but he's going to try to do some strafes around and hit him from the behind so that he doesn't get hit. Okay, good attacks so far. Gets a couple of mini staggers. 1 more mini stagger should get us into a full stagger, and then he can send the full attack. Okay, he's kind of T-posing on us, but that's okay. A few more attacks.
Should be like 1 more.
I think 1 more. Get behind him for this. Nice, get the big stagger, and unleash the big attack.
Goodbye, Romeo.
Goodbye. Beautiful fight.
So that's like probably the most RNG fight in the run if you're not doing it that way. I'm doing it a bit safer because we're, you know, in a marathon setting. The way that you would do it before is you would just wing it and you would just YOLO the wrench slam twice, and you just hope that it worked. But we actually can't do that because if that doesn't work, then that's really bad. Like I don't really have a plan if that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because he can just grab you out of it and then it just cancels your Fable instantly. So we are going to be grabbing a motivity crank. There it is. Refilling our Fable. Actually, we didn't touch on this, but if you go out in the training yard, you can refill your Fable at any time. We're going to be upgrading to +7. Then we're going to put the motivity crank on the coil stick handle. Actually, we're going to be making the coil stick handle as our weapon for the next boss. We're going to be getting some more levels. This is, I think, is our final level up. We're going to be getting 15 health and then 40 motivity. And then we're going to be heading to the next boss, which is Victor. So, like I mentioned before, I loaded into the level at 30 FPS. We're going to hope that that makes this, what I'm trying to do to him, actually work. It's kind of like a coin flip. It's more than 50-50. I would say it works like 70% of the time. But I realized that because I said that, it's not going to work now. But yeah, we're going to be doing something kind of funky on Victor. It's kind of funny. I don't want to spoil the surprise though, so I really hope that I get this to work. The way that this works is that I entered the arena from out of bounds and I quit out, which spawned a fog gate. And it spawned a fog gate, and there is a chance, like I said, that there's a chance it's better on 30 FPS, that the fog gate enter prompt will appear before the open the door prompt will appear. There it is. We're going to enter the boss arena, but then we're not going to go anywhere because there's nowhere to go. And then we're going to open the door. And what this is going to do is it's going to activate his AI when I hit enter. And now it's activated, and then I open the door. And for some reason, let's hope that it works, he just starts running in place. And it's very, very silly. But we're going to start the fight here by doing a wrench slam. If you notice there, I'm letting go at the very last second because you can actually save a Fable, which is very, very big for a fight like this because you do need to do a lot of these wrench slams. You're going to save out on a lot of Fable by doing it this way. We're doing basically no buff for first phase because we need to save our buff for second phase. I did miss an attack there, that's okay. But we're saving all of our fire for second phase because it is the tankier phase. Gonna be doing a couple more hits here. I think it should be like one more, and then one of these should do it for phase 1. Okay, into phase 2. It's a little bit tricky. I will let Mitch help me out here, but I'm gonna be trying to use the Fable on the coil stick now. That is the goal here.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, Victor is a very luckily predictable boss. A lot of his attacks are very nice to deflect. But basically, we're going to try to go behind him when we can to get some big attacks in, as well as using those big Fable attacks. He's trying to use charged attacks when he can because they charge up our Fable more, so we don't have to spend our Catalyst, but
I missed.
Didn't quite hit.
Insane.
He dodged away. That's okay. So just a few more hits should take him out, as well as we've got some fire throwables if we need. He's staggerable now.
Okay.
Got him. Let's go.
It would be really cool if I finished him off with the Fable there, but that's okay. So now that we've taken care of Victor, that's pretty much every chapter to this point. We've gone back and we've cleared them all out. Like I said, the faster way of doing a run like this is by getting into an area and then just clearing it all out, and then doing the next area, clearing it all out. And from this point onward, we're basically strong enough to do that. So from this point onward, we're going to be going to the next area, which is the swamp, and we're just going to be rushing. I would like an update, though, on the timer, because I am very, very curious how much I have left.
You have 13 minutes and 37 seconds.
Left. Okay.
Left.
So we're on boss 12. We are projected with 13 minutes. Let's see. We're going to get probably 16 or 17, if we're lucky. Like I said, the record that I got the other day is 19, but that's a very, very good run. No mistakes, no deaths. So we're going to get a little bit less than that on this run, but that's okay. We're doing a skip here. This is called the swamp skip, I guess. We're going to be using a pogo to launch ourselves above this, I don't know what you call it, this like train platform thing. And we're going to be launching up and then running along some bars. I need to line myself up again.
Yep. It's not overly precise, this one, but it is a little precise.
I'm gonna go a little bit
to
the left here. So mine is up on keyboard and mouse because it's way easier. I mean, I feel like it's not really even possible to do skips on controller. I mean, it probably is, but it's just super hard and a big pain. So we're going to be running along this like metal scaffolding. And then we're going to be doing a little bit of out-of-bounds pathing towards the Stargazer. So, Bobby, you have some time for some donations.
Absolutely. Well, we have a $15 donation from Dan the Dapper that says, great game, great runner, great couch, and a great event. And just as a reminder, folks, we have an update on that incentive. Again, we have just opened an incentive for an impossible minigame coming up for our GDQ game show extravaganza. You are absolutely going to want to see that about halfway through that run. So let's get those donations in as soon as we can.
Thank you very much. All right, so we are about finished with the swamp skip. We're going to be dropping down into this lower level here. We're going to make sure that we do this jump correctly. It can get us locked out of bounds, so I'm glad that we were able to get that correct. Grab the Stargazer here because we need to refill our Fable and because we're coming back later. I'm gonna rest here, then refill my Fable once again. I did remember I have to make the wrench baton. I almost forgot. I told Mitch in the...
I reminded you.
Oh, you
right
remember?
Now.
Yeah,
I just reminded you.
You beamed it into my brain. Okay,
Yes,
very
yes.
cool, very cool. Yeah, so we make the wrench baton there. Actually, my PB, I had the coil stick like in my hand for that, so I did lose a lot of time there. But yeah, we're gonna be running backwards through the swamp here. We basically like start at the end and then work our way back. Whoa, an earthquake.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Whoa, an earthquake.
Yeah, so we are
Came from the
gonna be
direction of Crot Central
going back in
Station.
this little swamp here, and as you guys remember, if you played this
Really,
game,
really bad.
there's 3 bosses actually, which is huge. Like this is a big like cluster of bosses, and we're gonna need to take them out to give ourselves the best chance at getting to that 16 goal. If you interrupt this guy on the ballista here, this puppet, he will never come back. So you can actually just do that, like pull him off, and then he'll just never come back. I'm looking for this puppet right here. Looks like
He was a little out of range for that falling attack, but that's okay.
yeah. I'm gonna take these guys out, then we're gonna open up the door right here. The goal here is to not quit out. That's basically the goal for this run entirely. Because it's real time and because I only have 1 hour, you wanna make sure that you're quitting out as little as possible, because once you quit out, you lose about like, I don't know, 15 seconds real time every single quit out, plus the 6-second stand-up animation. You lose a lot of time on a quit out in this game.
And you are at 10 minutes left.
Yes.
Just a reminder.
Thank you very much. So we're going to be buffing here with electricity on this Puppet of the Future. This one's a bit beefier than the one that we fought in the factory. This is a really good attack to see. We're doing a big slam here.
Still half his health in one hit. You say he's beefier, but so is our damage. All right. That's an excellent attack to see. We get so many free attacks here. We might even get a stagger here. We do. So now we can do even a bit more damage, take the fatal attack, and that'll pretty much do it. 1 down. 1 more Puppet of the Future to go. As a reminder, anything that has a name and a health bar does count as a boss. So even though these are kind of repeated enemies, they do all count as a boss because they do have that health bar there. So once again, half his health in a single hit. Few more should get the stagger. Not quite the attack you want to see, but not the worst thing either. Okay, get away from this stomp. A few more attacks will get us a stagger. He's doing a longer combo, not great to see.
Oh, he came out of nowhere. Oh my
no.
God. Okay, so is it faster to go back or is it faster to just keep going? How much time do you have left?
You have 8 minutes, 52 seconds.
8 minutes. Okay, I am going to go back.
Okay. You do get, yeah, we still do have 2 more bosses going backwards. We will probably get those 2, but then it might be a race to get the boss after, which will be the swamp monster. But yeah, we're coming up on it, so it's a race against time.
Yeah, I did not expect that to happen. That guy came out of literally nowhere. Not like I've never seen that before, but that was a very, very rare thing to happen. We're gonna have to get the puppet off of the ballista again. And Bobby, actually, we have time for a couple donations.
Well, Bobby isn't here right now, but I am. Hi, everybody. My name is JPEG. I'm going to be taking over as host while Bobby gets ready for something that might be coming up next. Hint, hint. But okay, we have $10 from Anonymous saying, Carlo Collodi originally envisioned The Adventures of Pinocchio as a Souls-like, but Disney added an easier save system for the movie. Follow me for more dubious historical facts. Got time for one more?
Yes.
All right. $5 from Watsaku that says, Red, you've just been lobstered. Lobster another person to be unlobstered. I'm gonna be so real, y'all. If somebody could send me a donation explaining what that is, I would really, really appreciate it.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You got lobstered.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah. All right, so coming up on the boss again, we're going to once again hope that none of the little enemies in the area try to get us, because we do not have a lot of health for this point in the game, so almost anything will one-shot us. That's why he also has to be very careful on the boss's attacks here. They will definitely one-shot us. So he's basically staying away from the foot attacks so that he doesn't have to dodge.
I got stuck in his foot there.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to just go to the swamp monster.
We'll go to swamp
Call it
monster.
there.
7 minutes
Unfortunately,
left.
yeah. Unfortunately, I did die twice.
This is
Yeah.
not Sekiro. It's not a necessity.
Yeah. So the goal here would be to clear out this area. There would be 2 more bosses. It would be the Puppet of the Future that did not end up killing, and then the Owl Doctor. and then it would be a warp back to this area, and then it would be a race to the swamp monster. So we're just going to skip the other part so we can get the swamp monster down, hopefully. A little bit of an unfortunate thing to happen, but that's not a big deal. We've already done plenty of bosses so far. This is honestly as good as I could have hoped for this run to go. So the swamp monster here, Mitch, you want to help us out with the commentary?
Yes, so the swamp monster is one that has two very distinct phases. This first one is going to give us a lot of time to get some pretty big slams in, and especially with the Spectre helping us as well. But sometimes you have to be careful for that attack is a very scary one because it just keeps barfing in front of it, so you get behind it. So now he's basically going for a bunch of mini staggers, letting him hit the Spectre, gets a big stagger, very good. That should finish him off. He can't take the fatal attack from behind, so he'll have to just do some big attacks, get us into the second phase. The second phase counts as a puppet, so it's weak to electricity instead, so he's going to swap his buff, go for a charge here, and hopefully be able to get this big slam off. That's a good attack to see.
I did mess up there.
That's okay.
Yeah.
He released it a little bit early before it got the full charge. Still does a lot of damage, just not quite as much as we were hoping for. Now he's going to have to get some perfect guards here. Nice. One more. Oh, no, he just dodges behind. It gets a big slam. I like that strategy. Very good strategy. He's back to full Fable, so he can try for a big slam again. After this, though, yes, this should work. Nice. Got him. And with this fatal attack, that should do it.
Going to be a little bit more.
A little bit. Okay, a little bit more, but one more big slam. Nice. Excellent kill.
So how much time do we have left? Do I have enough time for Robert
5 minutes.
Weasel?
You've got 5
yeah,
minutes.
I can do Robert Weasel. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we are going to go for, I believe Victor was 12. That's 13, 14. We're going to go for 15 here because I did end up messing up the two bosses, the Puppet of the Future and the Owl Doctor. We're not enough time for that, which is fine. We're going to go for the Robber Weasel instead. It's the cooler boss anyway.
And you get to show off a new skip here that gets us there.
Yeah, that'll be cool. So yeah, we're going to be using our Fable here. We're going to be heading to the Krot Central Station Stargazer, refilling our Fable. And then we're going to be doing a skip to get past the locked gate, the shortcut gate. And then we're going to run right to the Robber Weasel. So we're going to see if we can get there. I think we have a little bit of extra time. We have some time for donations, though, while we make our way over there.
Okay, well, I wanted to give y'all an update on that mystery bonus impossible minigame that's coming up in our game show extravaganza. Now, if y'all liked Bobby's incredible hosting, this would be a phenomenal incentive to donate too, because you would get the chance to torture Bobby with an impossible minigame. And I think that's a phenomenal way to thank him. So we are at $15 out of the 1,000 needed. So I really, really want to make this one happen. I think it's a wonderful gift to give to Bobby at the end of his shift, don't you?
Of course. Mm-hmm. All right, so we are coming up on this skip. We're going to be lining up on this platform, and then we're going to be launching ourselves up in the air. We're going to hope that we don't aggro the enemy, which we did, but that's okay, because we are going to launch ourselves up.
Does he get it first try?
Land on the beam.
Nice.
This is the hard part right here, though.
Mm-hmm. It's a very thin beam we have to walk across. Didn't quite get far enough along. You don't actually have to go all the way across the entire beam, but you need to get far enough that you get past the gate before you drop down. So he's going to try it a second try here. This beam is also very thin, but he lands on it nicely. Okay, set it up a second try. Specific.
This one's been giving me trouble. I don't know why. Okay, so the enemies here are going to be a bit of a issue because they're in my way. So I'm going to see if I can just like pull them into me.
Yep, a clever backup here. We do have a lot of enemies here, so he's got to make sure that he gets this within a couple tries before they get over to him. That was a lower one, but he got it. Let's go. Okay, he's going to line it up very carefully here to make sure. Roll off.
I don't know what's going on here, honestly. I'm going to rest of the Stargazer to reset the enemies.
Not a bad plan, not a bad plan. You've got about 2.5 minutes left.
Okay.
So it should be enough time for the boss. We just got to get through this skip right here. Okay, I like that, pulling the enemy away, so there should be more attempts here if he needs them. Good pogo. Lands on it. Okay, lines it up. Goes forward. Not quite.
Is there anything that you're noticing that I could be doing differently?
You might want to just stay a little bit more left to stay on it just a tiny bit longer. And then, yeah, not worry too much about the roll in the end. So line up just a tiny bit left.
This is... Okay.
We've got a couple more tries. This is still going to be faster than going around. It does save quite a bit of time here. Okay. Just keep going. That should... Oh, I thought it would. I jinxed it. That's on me. That's on me. All right, but now we've figured out the lineup, so now it's just going to be hopefully one more time. Keep that walking. And we should make it past. Oh. That's okay. Second try here should do it. The enemies did not get in our way.
I forgot how to do the skip, I guess. I don't know.
Well, we've almost got it. You do have 50 seconds left, so I don't think you'll quite be able to get the Robber Weasel, but if we can just make ourselves up with getting this skip once, I think that'll be a good finishing to this. Oh, might need to quit out. There's a lot of enemies. Don't have time.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Uh-oh. Yeah, and these enemies do regenerate health very quickly, so you need to basically kill them all at once. Okay. 20 seconds left.
Wow, what a disaster. Okay.
That's okay. The rest of it has gone very well. Let's give it one last try for the skip. Let's see if he can get it. 10 seconds left. Let's just show off the skip. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
see if I can rush it.
2,
no,
1.
I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna go.
No. Okay, overtime.
No.
Not quite.
I don't
That's
know.
okay.
I don't really know what happened there. I'm very sorry for my performance. I don't think that was very good. But
don't worry, the rest of it was great. You did a great job, blanxz, and let's hear it one more time for that awesome run from blanxz.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I did get the 19 bosses run the other day on my stream, but apparently Mitch stole some of the speedrunning knowledge out of my brain for himself.
That's how I get all the knowledge. I just take it from others.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, huge shout out to the Lies of P speedrunning community. We are small but strong, close-knit community. Find us on speedrun.com. There's a link to our Discord there. Also, big shout out to the other branch, the Souls community as well, for always being super supportive and all that. Thank you, GDQ, for having us on here. Thank you very much. And enjoy the rest of TwitchCon, guys. I think that's it for me. Yeah, thank you, guys.